Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Coach the Coach Radio. Brought to you by the Business RadioX Ambassador Program, the no-cost business development strategy for coaches who want to spend more time serving local business clients and less time selling them. Go to brxambassador.com to learn more. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Coach the Coach, and this is going to be a good one. Today we have on the show Sarafina Thomas with iCoach Bosses. Welcome, Sarafina.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. I am so excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us about iCoach Bosses. How are you serving folks?
So I'm serving folks with the TV media. You know, iCoach Bosses is about TV media influence being shared, you know, across the world. Just different creative ideas coming into one room and really changing the dynamics of where people's lives are, changing the trajectory of where people are that are in poverty to promise. So this is what iCoach Bosses is. It's about birthing bosses. You may be a gymnast. You may be a person that takes out the trash. You may be a janitor. Whatever you may be, you can be a boss. There is a boss in each of you. This is something that I have learned to discover, and I've gone on this journey of helping so many people find the greatness in them.
So how did you get into this line of work? Was there something that happened to you when you were younger that kind of inspired you to go down this path?
Well, growing up as a kid, I was adopted. I was born to the mother and father. They were on drugs, you know, different things like that. Growing up, I had a very rough childhood. Nothing was made easy for me. Fighting to become who I am today allowed me to get into wanting to change people's lives. One day I went through a very tragic relationship breakup, and it just didn't go well. And I decided that I was going to start working on me. And in working on me, I found that there were so many things that I was ignoring, so many things that I wasn't paying attention to. As I began to go through that moment, there became a birthing out of me. I started a conference called the Prayer Vault, and from there, I ended up birthing this conference called iCoach Bosses in Counseling. So my life story, yes, it has brought me to the place of where I am now. My childhood, what I went through, rape, molestation, so many different entities, the struggle of, you know, celibacy, just different things like that has brought me to the place of where I am now. That's how I got into coaching, wanting to coach people back to life, because everybody needs a mentor. Everyone needs a coach. The doctor has a teacher before he's a doctor. The lawyer has to pass the bar exam before they become who they are. Everybody has an instructor. And I felt like if I had one, maybe I would have gone to a greater place, but I felt like it didn't happen because I was created to become that for someone. So I have become all things for all people.
So now when you first started coaching other people, can you talk about how that happened? Did someone just approach you and say, I need help? Or did you reach out to someone and say, you know what, I might be able to help you through this? How did that initial kind of coaching session begin for you?
Well, it started with, again, on Facebook. Facebook had just started, and they didn't have the live button. When live was created, that was when it started. I had went live and I started talking about my life. And in talking about my life, I began to say, you know, talking about my life, I began to talk about the things I overcame, and I began to pray for people and just minister to them. And people started writing me. They started writing me. They started inviting me places to speak, you know, and I actually felt like I was not qualified. But as I began to take a leap, it became a dream. It wasn't something that I dreamed to hope to be. I had another desire. I wanted to be a lawyer, you know, so my life turned into doing my passion, in helping people. So that's how I got into it.
And then when you started working with other folks, you mentioned there was some kind of maybe a little insecurity that you weren't qualified to be counseling and coaching these people. How did you kind of get over that fear and get over that kind of lack of having maybe the credential that you thought you needed in order to do this? How did you kind of overcome that?
Well, it was through prayer, and then every coach needs a coach. I had people around me that would tell me, Sarah, you can do this. This is what you've been called to do. So it's a fight every day, because when you're becoming a dreamer and you're building something, sometimes when you're building, it seems like it'll never be right. It'll never be built to the capacity in which you desire it to be, so yeah, so that's how I got over it. Training my mind every morning through working out, through motivation, through just many different avenues that you can do all things. You can be all things, and in doing so, it has helped change the trajectory of many people's lives.
And can you share a story? I wouldn't name their name, but a story where you helped a person overcome an obstacle that was in front of them?
Yes, I can name so many. I can name one. I wouldn't name their name. For instance, through me doing life coaching, a particular couple I did help, coaching their marriage. They are now, they own a big church in Philadelphia. Before there was even the church enlarging and becoming what it is, I had ministered to that man and his wife, and they got back together. They just really grew to be something humongous. They have so many ministries in other places. Of course, we're still connected here and there, but just to see through that moment of coaching them, what it did was something, was something amazing and something beautiful. Something beautiful was written out of it. There's so many other stories. A young lady, she no longer does marijuana. She met me in a time in her life where she was really struggling. Of course, we don't take the credit for our own, but just being a conduit of coaching her life has brought her to freedom. So those are just a few stories.
Now, for folks that are just getting into the coaching world and they're beginners at this, do you have any advice for them on how to launch a successful coaching career?
Well, my advice would be to them is make sure you have a coach, because to launch anything is amazing, but you need somebody to coach you to do what you're doing. The number one is count the cost. Invest into, for instance, the conference I have coming up June, coming up, that investing in platforms that make you better. That's one of the advices that I have to give, advice that I would like to give to many of you, is that you need to invest into places that are good at what they do. Count up the cost. Also with life coaching, find what is in you that drives you to become better. Oftentimes, what is in you that drives you to become better is what you should always reflect on when you begin to coach. Use it as a tool for your platforms.
So now if folks are interested in the iCoach Bosses event, can you talk a little bit about what they can expect to get out of it?
Yes, so the iCoach Bosses event was February, but we extended the date. We extended the date because there were so many people writing us, telling us that they wanted to attend. We extended it to June 4th through the 6th. It's time to live your best life now. We have people who are excellent at credit repair. We have people who are in the media industry. We have people who have started their own cooking line. When you invest into this conference, you're basically gaining greater skills on how to become better as an entrepreneur, coach, or whatever avenue you have. Not only that, you're able to have access to these people. There are so many people who have become so big, they're no longer touchable anymore. And it's not that you can't be touchable anymore. It's that you need to still remain relatable. They have fallen in love with the platform rather than the platform becoming the guiding tool. So iCoach Bosses is a bunch of millionaires, billionaires, people who have become a millionaire overnight, just by simply, overnight, overnight meaning through the years, have saved just different wisdom tricks on how to become better. I was looking today at, the news, and I wanted to say this for anybody that's listening. On the news, they say that the net worth of a Black family is 17,000, but the net worth of other ethnic groups are 171,000, and it's not about, the ethnicity, but it shows you the communities that are less educated than others, and it's time for us to start sharing wealth principles. So if you have not invested, you need to go to my website, www.sarafinathomas.com, and go register for iCoach Bosses.
And on that website, they can learn more and get more information about if this is a wise investment on their behalf.
Yes, it's a wise investment. If you sit at a table with Damian Dash, you're not going to sit at that table, and think that you're going to leave there with just everything for free. Everything is an investment in life.
And then part of your journey, you learned some things the hard way, and you're trying to help other people not make the same mistakes.
Yes. That's the point of my life story. A lot of times we go through things so that we can be a testament to other people.
And then you found this out, and you're willing to share what you've learned to make other people's paths easier, right?
Oh, of course. Yes.
So one more time, that website, if somebody wants to learn more and take advantage of this event.
www.sarafinathomas.com.
And it's the iCoach Bosses event, right?
Yes.
Well, Sarafina, thank you so much for sharing your story today, and congratulations on all the success.
Thank you so much.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Coach the Coach Radio.